Here's the uncomfortable truth about fundraising. Donors can smell desperation a mile away. So, one of my clients, Jen, who runs a nonprofit with a massive heart and a solid mission, the problem is every time she went to ask for money, it came from pure fear. Like, what if they say no? Or what if it's too much I'm asking for? What if I'm being a burden or needy? What if they don't want to talk to me afterwards? That mindset is a scarcity mindset. And it is exactly why most fundraising feels like begging, because it is begging when you come from that space. And for those of you that are either running a nonprofit or participating in projects where you need to fund a mission-based project or business, or trying to fund any dream or project, this scarcity approach is sabotaging your success before you even open your mouth. So today I'm going to show you how to flip the entire script, pitching from survival mode to a powerful enrollment that actually works, because here is what I've learned in the last 40 plus years of transformative work. Desperation repels and vision enroll. And the difference between the two determines whether you are building something meaningful or just scraping by. This is not just with regard to fundraising, by the way. This is getting investors in a project. And I have raised close to $90 million between all the different projects that I've been involved with. And the thing that works is asking people for money, which is the one thing people don't want to do. I have helped clients raise significant funding by making this one shift that I'm going to share with you. And it works for business funding, it works for nonprofit funding, but it's not just about nonprofit. It's about integrity-based enrollment and registration that honors both the potential of what you're creating and the supporter's vision as well. So the scarcity trap that is killing your fundraising. Most people approach fundraising from what's missing instead of what they're creating. They lead with the problem, the lack, the urgent need, the desperation. But let me tell you what happened with Jen. She would walk into donor meetings with this energy of like, we're struggling, we need your help, please save us with your funds. And she wondered why people would politely decline or give token amounts that barely moved the needle for what she was building. So here's what research shows us. According to the Foraker Group, scarcity thinking dominates nonprofit and fundraising culture. It drives us to believe that there is not enough time or money or energy or people, leading us to the inevitable conclusion that we are competing with one another. This creates what they call the classic vicious cycle in nonprofit organizations: the need to raise more money, to hire more people, but needing people to raise more money. So this is, kind of a craziness, a little loop, right? That's why they call it a vicious circle. And here's the psychological reality. When you fundraise from scarcity, you're essentially asking people to fix your problems. That's not inspiring. That's exhausting. You're putting the donor in the position of being a rescuer, which immediately creates an unequal power structure, like a dynamic where they're above and you're below. Think about it from their perspective. They walk away from your meeting feeling heavy, burdened, that your organization is struggling. That's not the feeling that creates long-term partnerships or generous giving over time. The vision first formula will change everything. So we flipped the script with Jen, and instead of trying to get people to help, get them to give so that they could stop the problem, I had her connect with her vision. What was she really creating? What was the world that she wanted to see by virtue of this project getting accomplished? So the 4-step process that transformed her fundraising, I'm going to give you right now. The first part is to lead with your vision. Share what you're committed to creating, not what's missing, what you're fixing. Jen stopped talking about the kids who didn't have after school programs and started painting a picture of the community that she was creating, a place where every child had a safe space to learn and grow and discover their potential after school. The second piece of this formula is to name measurable outcomes. Don't just say, we need funding. Say we are registering 50 kids in this after school program this fall. So if you get specific, and Jen did, by December, we will have 50 children in our program, each receiving daily homework support, healthy snacks, and enrichment activities. These kids will improve their reading levels by an average of 1 grade level, and their parents will have peace of mind knowing that their children are safe and supported. Kind of different than give us some funds because we're struggling. Third piece is connect with their vision. This is critical. Ask what matters to you. Where do you see yourself in this? This is where the magic happens. And this is what's missing much of the time. So instead of asking for money, Jen started asking about values. What kind of community do you want to live in? What legacy do you want to create for the next generation? This gets people tapping into their vision. So the fourth step is make it a win-win. Help them see how participating in this project fulfills something for them, not just you. When donors can see themselves as co-creators of this vision, as partners in building something meaningful, everything changes. So the result for Jen was her next donor meeting resulted in her largest single donation ever, as my mother would say. Not because she begged, but because she invited somebody to build a future alongside her, shoulder to shoulder. So why donors give to hope, not to fear. Here's a truth bomb, okay? People don't want to fund your problems. They want to invest in your solutions. Research from Global Giving shows that donors are motivated by organizations that demonstrate sustainable practices and clear vision, not those driven by scarcity-based urgency. When you lead with fear or lack and desperation, you're asking people to make decisions from their own fear, lack, and desperation. And fear-based decisions are typically small, cautious, and short-term. But when you lead with a vision, it's up and out. You are actually inviting people to make decisions from their highest values, from their aspirations, from their dreams. These decisions tend to be much more generous, bold, and they create lasting long-term partnerships. Those are the kind of partnerships that last for decades. So I'll give you a real example. When Jen started talking about the after-school program, she was creating the specific outcomes for the community that she envisioned, right? Suddenly, donors weren't being asked to rescue something. They were being asked or invited to build something. Big difference. One donor even said to her, I've been looking for a way to make a real impact in education. And this is not just a donation I'm giving you. This is an investment in the kind of community I want my grandchildren to grow up in. I mean, it could move you to tears. And this works for business funding too. So if you're not, working with a nonprofit, think about it for your company. Investors do not want to fund desperation. They want to fund vision with measurable outcomes. They want to see that you're not just solving a problem, but creating something valuable and sustainable. So if you're watching this or listening to this, depending on how you get your podcasts, and you're thinking, okay, this makes sense, but I need some help implementing this shift in my own organization or business. I work with successful entrepreneurs, founders, nonprofit leaders who want to create from vision instead of reactivity. There's a link in the description if you want to explore us working together. We can book a call, a short exploration call to see if there's a way for me to empower you in what you're creating. Now, the registration mindset versus the begging mindset. This is a key difference. A key distinction is that registration is about invitation. Begging is about extraction. When you're in the space of authentic registration, making invitations and requests, you're standing in your power, in your vision, you're clear about your vision, and you're genuinely curious about their vision and the alignment of the two. So you're asking things like, is this something you'd want to be a part of? When you're begging, you're giving your power away. You're saying things like, please save us because we can't save ourselves. I mean, you might not be saying that, but it's in the unsaid. The energy is completely different. In registration, authentic registration, you're offering an opportunity. In begging, you're asking for charity. There's a big difference. This changes your entire approach to conversations, presentations, and written requests. So instead of we're desperately in need of $50,000 to keep our doors open, you say something like, we're creating a $50,000 fund to launch our community impact initiative. We're looking for 5 visionary partners who want to invest in transforming how we serve families in our area. Do you hear the difference between those two things? The first version makes you want to run away and close the door. The second version makes you want to know more. Find out if this could be a pathway for you to fulfill on some aspect of your vision and what matters to you. And here's the integrity piece. It isn't about manipulation or sales tactics. This is about authentic alignment between your vision and their values. You're not trying to convince anyone of anything. You're simply sharing what you're creating and inviting people who resonate with that, who actually share that vision, to join you in fulfilling on it. Where there's true alignment, the conversation just flows naturally. Where there isn't, you both know it, and that's okay too. Not everyone is meant to be part of every vision and every project. That's perfectly fine. We've talked about, though, today why scarcity, especially with regard to fundraising, repels donors, the 4-step vision first formula, and how to shift from begging to registration. But here's what I really want you to understand from this episode. This is not just about fundraising. This is about how you show up in the world. Are you creating from vision or reacting from fear and scarcity? When you fundraise from vision, you're not begging, you're building. You're standing in integrity. You're creating a future that people want to invest in and be part of. Desperation repels and vision enrolls. Which one are you leading from? Watch my next video to go deeper into the world of creation, fulfillment, and ease in every area of your life. Click to watch it now.